Imagine a small town nestled in the heart of a vast prairie, framed by endless blue skies and the untamed, rugged landscape that could only belong to Montana. Here, life moves to a quieter rhythm. Locals spend their days fishing on tranquil lakes, heading out on hunting trips, or simply driving for miles along empty roads where traffic lights are non-existent. Welcome to Glasgow, Montana's best-kept secret. Once home to a vital Air Force base during World War II and bordered by Fort Peck Lake, the fifth largest man-made lake in the United States, this town now carries a humbler yet strangely captivating identity. It's often called the middle of nowhere, a nickname earned not just from its isolation, but from the vast, empty space that surrounds it in every direction. Glasgow sits quietly in the far northeastern corner of Montana. Tucked within Valley County, a region dominated by endless grasslands and resting not far from the Canadian border. Its location is so remote that the nearest major city is hundreds of kilometers away, roughly a 4.5-hour drive. That's why Glasgow has earned the nickname, the middle of nowhere. And it's not just a tongue-in-cheek reference to its coordinates. It genuinely reflects the sense of isolation that many locals feel on a daily basis. Distance and stillness are woven into the very fabric of this modest town, which spans just 3.7 square kilometers. Yet Glasgow wears its seclusion as a badge of honor, proudly holding on to the title coined by the Washington Post. As of 2025, it's home to only 3,170 residents according to World Population Review, a number more fitting for a single high school in a bustling city. But it's precisely that smallness that gives Glasgow its charm. Life here feels more personal, every face is familiar, and local shops know their customers by name. Few people move in, and those who stay are often rooted in the town by generations of family history. Time in Glasgow flows slowly, calmly, and without rush. Surrounding the town is that unmistakable Montana scenery, vast stretches of open prairie, gentle rolling hills, and skies so wide they seem to go on forever. In the summer, the sun lingers on the horizon, casting golden light deep into the night. Winter, on the other hand, brings a sharp bite to the air, with heavy snowfall that can temporarily isolate the town from the outside world. But in those stark contrasts between light and dark, warmth and cold, Glasgow reveals its true beauty, raw, quiet, and unapologetically real. The name Glasgow might immediately bring to mind the bustling Scottish city known as the most populous in Scotland. So, was this remote Montana town named after that major European port? As it turns out, the story behind Glasgow's name is far more curious than a simple tribute. It wasn't inspired by a founder or a family heritage. It came from a globe. Yes, a spinning globe. When the Great Northern Railway was expanding westward and needed to name a new stop, a railway official named James Hill, along with a local worker, reportedly spun a globe at random. Their finger landed squarely on Glasgow, Scotland, and just like that, in 1887, a new Glasgow was born, this time in the wild heart of Montana. The town initially grew as a key railway stop, drawing farmers and ranchers in search of fertile land on Montana's high plains. But Glasgow's story took a dramatic turn in the early 1930s when the U.S. federal government launched construction of the Fort Peck Dam nearby, one of the largest infrastructure projects of the New Deal era. The dam brought thousands of workers to what had been a quiet outpost. Glasgow suddenly buzzed with life. Restaurants opened, movie theaters lit up, and hotels filled with new arrivals. For a time, the local economy, once reliant solely on wheat fields and cattle ranches, saw a burst of activity, and even after most of the workers left when the dam was completed, the infrastructure they left behind helped the town stay afloat. To this day, farming and ranching remain the backbone of Glasgow's economy. Wide-open prairies have become wheat fields, and generations-old family ranches still dot the landscape. Despite the sweeping tides of modernization, Glasgow endures, an unshakable emblem of small-town resilience in America, moving forward at its own steady pace. But Glasgow's appeal doesn't stop at its history or economic grit. The town's soul lies in its community spirit and deep-rooted traditions. Longest Dam Race, celebrating the Fort Peck Dam, and Milk River Catfish Days, a hometown mix of fishing contests and community festivities. Life in Glasgow, Montana may unfold far from the rush of major cities, but its steady rhythm and strong sense of community make it quietly compelling. With a population of just under 3,200 people, the town remains close-knit. Most residents are non-Hispanic white, with a small population of Native Americans and other ethnic minorities. It's a place where people know their neighbors, and simple routines shape the fabric of daily life. Locals often spend their time outdoors, hunting, fishing, or hiking along the peaceful trails near Fort Peck Lake and the Milk River. In town, small shops, coffee houses, and bars serve as social hubs. There's also a local history museum that preserves the story of Glasgow's railroad routes and the transformative era of the Fort Peck Dam. Community life thrives in the little things. From youth baseball games to church fundraisers and local markets, the town hosts regular events that keep its residents connected. Glasgow's modest size only adds to the intimacy. It's a place where faces are familiar and newcomers are quickly welcomed. Economically, Glasgow holds its ground. The average household earns about $76,985 annually, with property values around $206,000. Living costs are low, approximately 17.4% below Montana's average, and housing is especially affordable, with prices 34.4% below the national rate. While job growth has slowed slightly, key sectors like healthcare, retail, and transportation continue to support the town's stability. Public services here meet essential needs. Glasgow has a hospital, schools from elementary to high school, several inns and hotels, a few small casinos, and a public library known for its community programs. Transportation relies on highways and a small airport offering limited regional flights. Internet service is available. It's not always high speed, but sufficient for most work and communication needs. Even in its quietness, Glasgow offers unexpected charm. The Valley County Pioneer Museum is a favorite for history lovers, and the nearby Charles M. Russell National Wildlife Refuge offers stunning natural escapes. And for something a little different, locals gather at Busted Knuckle Brewery, a beloved spot that's earned national praise not just for its craft beers, but for the welcoming atmosphere that captures the spirit of this Montana town. Beneath Glasgow's quiet charm lies a set of challenges that aren't easily ignored. Its geographic isolation, while romantic to some, remains a very real obstacle. Being hundreds of kilometers from any major city means access to goods, services, and even entertainment is significantly limited, and at times, frustrating. When winter arrives with temperatures that can plunge below -30 degrees Celsius, snow can blanket the roads for days. For some, it's peaceful. For others, it can feel like being completely cut off from the rest of the world. These harsh weather conditions do more than test patience. They strain the town's basic infrastructure and services. Healthcare is one of the areas most affected. With a limited number of medical professionals, clinics, and hospitals struggle to stay open, especially when serving elderly residents and those with chronic illnesses. Education faces similar hurdles. There's a shortage of teachers, and schools often lack access to special programs or updated learning tools. The commitment from local educators is admirable, but there's no denying the limitations have a direct impact on students' learning experiences. And yet, it's precisely from these difficulties that Glasgow reveals something powerful: resilience. People here have learned to rely on each other, to lend a hand without being asked, and to build a life not from abundance, but from resourcefulness. This may be the middle of nowhere, but it's far from empty. There is heart here, a community, and a beauty that can't be replicated anywhere else. In the end, for all its silence and seclusion, Glasgow reminds us that life isn't always about noise and bright lights. Sometimes it's about depth, endurance, and a deep-rooted love for the land beneath your feet.